the Centre ULFA peace deal that is likely to be signed on the 29th of December. This, as we are saying, is a big success for the Modi government. The centre has almost finalized a peace deal with the pro-talk faction of the United Liberation Front of Assam. The pact that is likely to be signed on the 29th of December, according to government sources. A major success for the Modi government in resolving the decades-old problem of insurgency in the northeast. Several demands that were made as a financial package, a review of the citizenship list over the issue of illegal immigrants, new measures of land reservation, rights for the indigenous communities of Assam are likely in the final deal, as sources suggest a republic. I believe Arnab is back with us on the phone line. Arnab, talk to us. What more can you share with us?
Well, thank you very much. What I can share with you is that the agreement is to be signed, as we have just mentioned, on the 29th of December. So we are going to go into the new year 2024 with the first ever peace agreement between the ULFA and the Assam government and the central government. What I can also share with you is that the entire top leadership of the ULFA will be present at this historic signing agreement. I am told that already ULFA Chairman Aurobindo Rajkua, ULFA Secretary Mr. Anup Chetia, as well as the Foreign Secretary, as he calls himself, of the ULFA, Sashadhar Chaudhary, also known as Sasha, that they are here in Delhi and they are preparing for the signing of the peace agreement. The details have not been shared yet, but this particular agreement is being signed after almost 12 years of negotiations, which have begun in 2011. So this agreement has been sort of in the works since 2011, but it has, there've been always some obstacle or the other. Part of the reason has been that, there's been an attempt to sort of take everyone along, but of late the centre as well as the central government are quite clear that it is not possible to take Paresh Barua and the anti-talks faction along because they are too vested, with China. And Paresh Barua has been trying to reassert himself with a few low-intensity terrorist attacks that we've seen recently. I think the most important part of it, and one would also like to add to this, the most important part of this peace agreement is that it has the complete and total participation of the Assam government, of the central government, and a significant chunk of the ULFA. In fact, I would say the most relevant chunk of the ULFA would be part of this peace agreement, and what you have who are not part of it would be fragments. I would call them fragments of the ULFA who call themselves the anti-ULFA faction. I do not think the anti-talks faction has, if anything, more than maybe a few dozen members now. And as far as the anti-talks faction is concerned, we are all very well aware that they are all very rich and they are living abroad, mostly getting some kind of indirect support of the Chinese. Sometimes we hear they are operating in North Myanmar, and sometimes we hear they are operating out of their safe houses in China. The important thing is that the situation in Assam is now turned pro-development, especially since Himanta Biswa Sarma became Chief Minister. We've seen a significant increase in industry, major investment and development projects in Assam. If Himanta Biswa Sarma manages in this process to get this signature through on the 29th, then I think the whole shadow of terrorism which was hanging over Assam and the people of Assam through the 90s and the early 2000s would have come to an end. So I think this is a very, very significant moment in the history of Assam. I would say that perhaps as significant as the signing of the Assam Accord, though there were always problems with the implementation of the Assam Accord, but I think a very important step towards peace and prosperity for the people of Assam, and also
serving as some kind of a signal to the other underground subversive terrorist groups in the northeast that there is a way out through a process of negotiations and dialogue. So what I can share now, and Shravan will share more, is that the top ULFA leadership is in New Delhi and preparing for this signing on the 29th.
Well, in fact, Asom, just a couple of more details coming in. The Chief Minister has also had a meeting in the last 48 hours with the IB Director, Mr. Tapan Deka. Along with him, the NIA Chief, Mr. Dinkar Gupta, was present. What we are given to understand is a final comprehensive package is essentially being worked out. Now, the final comprehensive package, what you rightly pointed out, is way different than what we have seen, the problems attached with the Assam Accord. This time, you're largely looking at, number one, looking into the concerns of the indigenous community of Assam, and that is the reason why it looks into the land rights, it looks into the citizenship issues, it also looks into a financial package. And as far as the pro-talk faction is concerned, remember the anti-talk faction has been completely left redundant. That is the reason why in the last at least a month or so, there was a lot of chatter that was happening amongst the anti-talk faction, especially in Myanmar, given the fact that once this peace accord is done, in which a larger umbrella group is present, larger number of people, relevant people who are present in this, would essentially mean that the anti-talk faction would be left completely redundant. So we are basically looking at a situation by the 29th, and you have the top leadership of ULFA who is already present. They have also put out a 12-point charter demand in terms of what is it going to be looking like. So which pretty much what we are picking up from the intelligence community right now, it's been ironed out.
It is important, therefore, to add here that the pro-talks faction of the ULFA would want a face saver, would want something meaty in the agreement, so that they can also go back to the people of Assam and say that there are certain things that they won for the people of Assam in the bargain. What would those be? Because in my view, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, being an astute politician, and Mr. Amit Shah would not like to include the CAA/NRC issues as part of a political agreement with a underground group, even if they are pro-talks. So what would that be? That would work and have that sort of resonance among the people of Assam?
Well, in fact, as far as the indigenous community is concerned, for long, remember, that has been one issue that has been a sticking point, the bone of contention for people of Assam, because they've always argued the fact that the indigenous community has been on the back burner for political dispensation time and again. This time, perhaps the government has also made it abundantly clear that would be a top priority, which the Himanta Biswa Sarma government has looked into. The 12-point charter that has been put by Anup Chetia and the others are largely also looking into what kind of rehabilitation those who have been part of ULFA, how do you really bring them back to the main fold? These are some of the aspects that have been looked into. That is the reason they're calling this as a comprehensive financial package, which will also be a part of this entire process of the peace deal. So clearly looking at it, it's a win situation even for the government, keeping in mind that the community, the indigenous community, which has been for long sidelined, will also be given the much deserved rights that they have been
so there's been wanting some kind of a carrot and stick policy.
Absolutely.
In an interview given about 4 or 5 days back, GP Singh, who works very, very closely with the Assam Chief Minister and who is heading the Assam police, said very clear that I am going to go all out against people who are against the people of Assam. So I think that they are going to have a very strong carrot and stick policy at the same time with the remainder of the smaller terrorist groups who remain in operation.
In fact, there have been a war of word between Paresh Barua and GP Singh himself, and in fact GP Singh had made it abundantly. So he's been reaching out. There have been ways that there have been they've been trying to
feel that he's sort of missed the bus with this.
He's completely done that, because right now in terms of numbers, if you really see who are with him, he's completely lost out, because that entire faction has essentially seen that there is perhaps no light at the end of the tunnel for this section, the anti-talk faction. That is the reason why there have been this war of words. GP Singh has made it abundantly clear that when this entire process was being worked out, that you can't really have this entire process of picking up youth, recruitment of youth that was essentially being done. That is the reason why a warning was actually given to him that there's absolutely no need. You have to end the recruitment first of all. You cannot have the young boys being picked up, and we've seen the numbers have also largely gone down. So if you really look at it from the point of view of the security, that they're completely finished.
From the point of view of the politics of the BJP and the political strategy, of the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, would it be fair to say that he would want to include in this agreement something significant for the Assamese speaking people of Assam? Because Mr. Himanta Biswa Sarma's strategy has been mostly, even among the Muslim population residing in Assam, to differentiate between the indigenous Muslim population and the Bangladeshi Muslim population who are presently living legally or illegally within Assam. So do you think there is going to be something included in this agreement which would
there is absolutely
resonate among the Assamese speaking people of Assam?
There is absolutely no doubt about the fact that when it comes to land rights and the rights of the indigenous community, that is going to feature prominently as far as this package goes. Secondly, let's understand the sentiment that also exists. The very fact that the indigenous community, in terms of the population numbers also, if you see, they have been reduced, they have been dwindling numbers, and that is a cause of concern for the indigenous people of Assam. That is the reason why largely they are saying there has to be a distinction. How do you really do it? The government says that they have a proper plan in place, which is the reason why, in all likelihood, on the 29th, it is going to be a big win for the state of Assam.
So this is the breaking story at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Shravan and I bringing the news to you. You can read more details about it on republicworld.com. But I can safely say that one of the biggest headlines of the day, a massive peace agreement between the United Liberation Front of Assam as well as the Assam government and the central government, tripartite signing ceremony on the 29th here in the national capital. Over to you.
Arnav and Shravan getting us those details on the big development with the Centre ULFA peace deal that is likely to be signed on the 29th of December. As Arnav put it, it is a major success for the Modi government in resolving the decades-old problem of insurgency in the northeast. The deal that has almost been finalized with the pro-Talk faction of ULFA, United Liberation Front of Assam, and the pact that is likely to be signed on the 29th of December, according to government sources. Now, a financial package, a review of the citizenship list over the issue of illegal immigrants, new measures of land reservation rights for the indigenous communities of Assam that are likely to figure in this deal. In addition, new provisions of political, economic and cultural safeguards for the indigenous communities that are likely to figure in this deal. As Arnav also told us, and Shravan added to it, that Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma was camping in the national capital. During his stay in Delhi, he met with the IB Director Tapan Deka and Dinkar Gupta, DG of NIA, former Special Director of IB, A.K. Mishra, who is the interlocutor for ULFA peace talks. He had also met with Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma. He is also the advisor on Northeast Affairs, and together the pro-Talk faction of ULFA has submitted a 12-point charter of demands to the centre. The peace talks had begun in 2011, and the 12 broad groupings under which negotiations were proposed to start included a status report on missing ULFA leaders and cadres and the issue of general amnesty on pending cases that were drawn up.